Okay, so we've got some really fascinating material here that listeners sent in about Hanuman Jayanti and really about Hanuman himself.
Absolutely. It's rich stuff.
Yeah, and I think what we want to do in this deep dive is maybe go a bit beyond just retelling the stories everyone knows. You know,
Right. Dig into why he's such an enduring figure. What's the core message?
exactly. Let's try and pull out some of those compelling insights, maybe those aha moments hidden in the narratives.
Yeah.
That's kind of the mission here.
Sounds good. The material covers quite a bit, this Hanuman Jayanti special focus. It goes from his, well, pretty unique birth,
Right.
his childhood, that first meeting with Rama, obviously Lanka, his key qualities, and even the whole idea of him being, immortal.
It's a lot to unpack. So where should we start? The beginning seems logical, his origins.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Anjani Mata. The sources mention she wasn't just randomly in the forest.
No, she was an Apsara originally, right? But under a curse.
Precisely. So she's living in the forest and undertaking this incredibly focused spiritual discipline, tapasya.
And tapasya,
Yeah.
that's like deep penance, intense spiritual
commitment.
effort. Yeah, to gain favor or
Look at
insight.
that deep, focused austerity.
Mhm.
And it was this devotion, this tapasya, that caught Lord Shiva's attention.
Okay, so divine intervention comes into play pretty early.
Very early. Shiva grants her a boon, essentially saying that a form of him, an aspect of his own divine energy, would enter her womb.
Wow. Okay, so that right there sets Hanuman apart, doesn't it? It's not a typical birth story.
Not at all. It speaks to the power of that focused spiritual practice, the tapasya. And there's another layer, too.
Oh, yeah. What's
A
that?
connection to King Dashrath's yagya, the big ritual offering he
Ooh.
performed.
Right, for children, wasn't it?
That's the one. Well, apparently, a portion of the blessed food from that yagya, the prasad,
Okay, the sacred offering.
was carried by Pawandev, the wind god.
All the way to Anjani Mata, seriously.
That's the story.
Mhm.
Almost like divine delivery service. And this prasad is what leads to Hanuman's birth.
Ah, so that's why he's called Pawan Putra, son of the wind god.
Exactly. It's not just a poetic title. It points directly to this divine event and his lineage.
So you've got this dual aspect of Shiva's boon and the wind god delivering the divine essence. That's quite the origin.
It really is. It establishes his extraordinary nature right from conception, basically. Sets the stage for everything else.
And speaking of extraordinary, that childhood story, I mean, mistaking the sun for a piece of fruit.
Yeah. And actually trying to leap up and grab it.
That's some serious toddler ambition.
It is. But, beneath the surface story, it really shows his immense innate power, even as a child. The ability to even conceive of reaching the sun.
True, but obviously that couldn't just happen without consequences.
Right. Indradev, king of the gods, steps in. He uses his Vajra, his thunderbolt weapon.
It's Hanuman.
Knocks him down, yes. Which, understandably, makes Pawandev, his wind father, incredibly angry.
Oh boy, what happens then?
He withdraws the wind. All of it. From the entire earth.
Whoa, okay, so young Hanuman's actions literally brought the world to a standstill.
Pretty much. It shows how interconnected everything is in these narratives. A child's impulsive act has cosmic ripples.
So how do they fix it? You can't just not have air.
No, you can't. So all the major deities, they come together to appease Pawandev, to calm him down. And as part of making things right.
They give Hanuman gifts, blessings.
Exactly. Really significant blessings, foundational ones. The sources list immortality, Amarata.
Okay, immortality.
Big one. Huge. Then incredible strength, Ball.
Makes sense, given his later feats.
Profound intelligence, Booty. And great valor, Vikram.
Strength, intelligence, valor, and immortality. It's like they're equipping him, aren't they, for whatever's coming.
That's a great way to look at it. They're acknowledging his divine nature and setting him up for his destiny. And notice, it's not just strength, but booty, wisdom, intelligence, too. That's crucial.
Yeah, good point. It's not just brute force. Okay, so let's jump ahead a bit. The meeting with Rama, that feels like a massive turning point.
Absolutely pivotal. And the context is interesting. Rama and Lakshmana are searching for Sugriva. They don't know Hanuman yet.
Right, this is before the whole Lanka situation.
Way before.
Yeah.
And Hanuman, who's in his Vanara form, his monkey form, he sees Rama, and the source says he recognizes him instantly.
Just like that. Senses his divinity.
Seems so. It suggests this immediate, deep spiritual connection, like they were meant to find each other.
And this is where the devotion aspect really kicks in, right? The source talks about complete surrender.
Total surrender. It wasn't just, okay, I'll follow you. It was Hanuman renouncing everything, his own power, his ego, any personal goals, all dedicated to Rama.
the description is intense. Like
Yeah.
he became Rama's life force almost, not just a servant.
Exactly. And that concept, that complete devotion, that bhakti, it's absolutely central to who Hanuman is. It's about dissolving the self in service to a higher purpose.
Which is pretty countercultural, maybe, to how we often think about power or achievement today.
It can be, yeah. So much emphasis is on the self, on personal gain. Hanuman offers this radical alternative power through complete selflessness.
Okay, so that leads us naturally into Lanka. Rama needs to find Sita, and who does he send?
Hanuman, the ultimate messenger, the ultimate operative, really.
And the first major hurdle is just getting there. The source mentions the Sagar Langan, the leap across the ocean.
I mean, just imagine that.
Yeah.
Leaping across an entire ocean. It's symbolic, of course, overcoming huge obstacles.
But also just an incredible feat of power and sheer will driven by that devotion to Rama's mission.
Absolutely. That commitment is what fuels the seemingly impossible.
And once he gets to Lanka, he finds Sita, delivers Rama's message, which must have been such a moment of hope for her.
Incredibly important. But he doesn't just stop there, does he?
No, he takes the fight to Ravana, confronts his sons, sets Lanka on fire. I mean, he causes some serious disruption.
Major disruption.
Mhm.
But crucially, as the source points out, there's no personal pride in it. No ego boost from defeating enemies or showing off his strength.
It all comes back to that principle.
Ram Kakam Meridharm. Rama's work is my duty. That's his guiding light. Every action, no matter how spectacular, is just fulfilling his purpose, his service to Rama.
No desire for credit or glory?
None whatsoever. It's all about the mission.
Okay, so we've covered his birth, his childhood power, finding his purpose with Rama, the Lanka mission. Let's shift gears slightly. How does this connect to, us, to the listener? The source seems to want to draw out life lessons.
Yes, and that's what makes these stories so powerful, isn't it? They're not just ancient tales. They offer guidance that still feels relevant. These qualities Hanuman embodies. They're practical.
Right. So let's break down some of those core qualities mentioned. First up is nishta, loyalty.
Unwavering loyalty. Deep, steadfast commitment. Not just when it's convenient, but always.
And it's an informed loyalty, right?
Yeah.
Based on recognizing Rama's righteousness.
Exactly. It's about choosing wisely what or who you commit to and then seeing it through with total dedication. Like any successful long-term project or relationship, really.
Okay, then Vinay, humility. This one's fascinating, given his power.
It really is. To have that much Shakti, that much strength, and yet be completely without ego, that's remarkable.
So true strength isn't about boasting.
Not according to this model. It's about using your abilities without needing validation or applause. Think about how much energy ego can consume. Hanuman shows power in selfless action.
Makes sense. Next is Shakti itself strength, but it's more than just physical, isn't it?
Oh, definitely. It's physical power. Yes, we see that clearly. But it's also inner strength, resilience, the ability to face down adversity, to keep going.
That inner fortitude. Got it. Then bhakti devotion. We touched on this, but it's listed as a key quality itself.
Because it's the engine. It's that unconditional love, that surrender to a higher purpose, Rama, in his case, that fuels everything else. The loyalty, the strength, the service, it all flows from bhakti.
It's the why behind the what.
Perfectly put. It connects you to something bigger than yourself.
Okay. Then buddhi, wisdom, or intelligence. We noted this earlier. He wasn't just strong, he was smart.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Strategic, discerning. Look at how he handles things in Lanka, assessing threats, communicating carefully with Sita. He uses his intellect alongside his strength.
So true effectiveness needs both power and wisdom.
Seems to be the message, yes.
And finally, sevapav, the spirit of selfless service.
Acting without any expectation of reward. No thought of what's in it for me. His reward was serving Rama.
That's quite profound. Finding joy in the service itself.
It is. And the source suggests that if we could find somebody to dedicate ourselves to with that same level of unwavering commitment,
Like Hanuman did for Rama.
then maybe things we think are impossible might actually become possible. And doing it without constantly seeking credit, that frees you up.
It really shifts the focus, doesn't it? From personal gain to contribution.
Entirely.
Now, there's one more fascinating aspect, this idea that Hanuman is still around, the Chiranjeevi concept.
Yes, the belief in his immortality, that he's one of the long-lived beings. The tradition says he's still in the Himalayas,
Chanting the Ramayana, right?
continuously chanting the Ramayana. It speaks to his timelessness, his enduring presence, not just as a story character, but as a spiritual force.
And people report seeing him. The source mentions saints, yogis, claiming to have had darshan, visions.
Yes, there are many such accounts throughout history and even today. It underscores that deep personal connection people feel. It's more than just belief. For some, it's experiential.
And the idea that he's present wherever people remember him with faith.
That's a powerful concept, too. It suggests devotion itself can invoke that divine presence. The connection is direct.
So wrapping this up, thinking about Hanuman Jayanti, it's clearly more than just marking a birthday.
Oh, much more. It's a reminder, isn't it? A reminder of the incredible power that lies in devotion, in selfless action, in commitment.
It shows what a person can achieve or maybe become when they embody those qualities. That connection to the divine is possible.
Absolutely. It reinforces that potential within everyone that a true devotee, someone living with loyalty, humility, strength, wisdom, service, they can reach their highest potential.
So for everyone listening, maybe the invitation is to reflect a bit. Could you bring even one of these qualities more consciously into your own life?
Yeah, maybe pick one. More strength facing a challenge, more humility in how you interact, deeper commitment to your own goals.
Let this deep dive maybe spark some personal inspiration.
And that leads to maybe a final thought to chew on. How might really embodying even one of Hanuman's core qualities like true humility or unwavering focus, how might that fundamentally change how you approach the challenges you're facing right now or the purpose you're working towards?
That's definitely something to think about long after we finish talking. A powerful question.